assigning a project, I'm just going to talk a lesson with you. So, what is this? This is the 21st. And we are backtracking to look at lesson 8.6. And there's a reason I go out of order. And it has to do with that whole factoring by grouping. We're going to use that here. Okay? Not in step 1, but we're going to use it eventually. Okay? So, we are factoring the form ax squared plus bx plus c. If you look back, and I don't know, is Kylie looking back to 8 or 8.5? If you look back to 8.5, we factored if it was just x squared plus bx plus c, right? If our first piece was just 1x squared, we could do product of c, the sum of b, and put those two numbers in the parentheses, right? With x and x. Okay, so it's a piece of cake if it's just, my goodness, sorry, I couldn't get past that yawn. It's a piece of cake if it's just x squared, and it's contagious. So it's x and x, and you just put the numbers in. It's not so much of a piece of cake when there's a number here, because now that leaves lots of different options, okay? So we're going to use what I call product of AC. Okay? So product of AC. So first of all, if it helps, you guys need this visual. It's ax squared plus bx. Look. Okay, don't write that in there.
Because like letters always mess it out.
Okay, well, I need to know, I guess, that you know what your ABCs are here. Your number ABCs, not your letter ABCs, right? Okay, so what is A in this scenario? 6, because it's a number in front of x squared, right? Okay. What is B?
I just mean like if you wrote that, if you just wrote
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
plus 5, that throws me off.
And then the C is 5, right? Okay, so I just need you to be able to recognize what A, B, and C are. So A is the coefficient in front of x squared, B is the coefficient of x, and C is the constant number by itself. Okay, so in order to do this, we're going to do the product of AC. And you remember when I say product, that means I'm looking for numbers that multiply to be that. Now, so what are A and C here? 6 and 5. So we're going to do a product of 6 times 5. And 6 times 5 is 30. So I'm going to be looking for numbers that multiply to be 30. And they need a sum of B. What is B? 13. I don't know. So, I am looking for two numbers that multiply to be 30 and add to be 13. Now, when we did this the other day, we made a list of numbers that multiply to be 30. Do you remember me making this list? What's my first pair? That's a pair. I wouldn't do that first, but
2 and 15. Oh, well, 1 and 30.
so I would always do 1 in the number first. Does 2 go into it?
Yeah,
2 and 15. Does 3 go into it?
yes, 3 and 10.
3 and 10. 4?
No.
No, if you divide it, you get a decimal, right? Grab a calculator if you need to, Jacob. 5?
Yeah, 5 and 6.
5 and 6. And so then when I say 6, you're going to say, we just used it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, you're looking for a pair that has a product of 30 and a sum of 13. So which of those pairs gives me a sum of 13?
3 and 10.
Okay. 3 and 10 add to be 13, yes? Okay. So, If it is just an x squared, we put it in the parentheses, x plus 3, x plus 10, we're done. But we're not going to do that here. What this 3 and 10 is going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to split the middle term. So we're going to take 13x and we're going to split it into these two numbers. So we're going to split it into 3x plus 10x. It's a positive 3 and a positive 10, and so we're going to write it as plus 3x and plus 10x. Now, the first term is still going to carry down. So I'm still going to have 6x squared. And my last term is still going to carry down as a plus 5. And now notice we have 4 terms. And now we're doing that process we learned yesterday. Factoring by grouping. Okay, so that was the whole point of me doing 8, 8 first. Because now I don't have to teach you factoring by grouping. I just have to review it with you. Okay, so 4 terms. I'm going to split the 4 terms in 2 sets of 2, right? So, what can 6x squared and 3x divide by?
3x.
They both divide by 3. They both have an x. But they don't both have the exponent. So we're just going to divide them both by 3x. Now remember, what do I do with that 3x? Goes out front. And then you're going to have parentheses. 6x squared divided by 3x. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. X squared divided by x. 2 minus 1 is 1, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have 2x to the first, or in other words, 2x. Plus 3x divided by 3x. 1. Put the plus 1.
Oh, yeah, because the x.
You have to put the plus 1. You don't just leave it blank. You put the plus 1. Okay? It did. Okay, now what? Okay. So this time, what do my 10x and 5 have in common? They both divide by 5. Do they both divide by an x? No. So now, since they both divide by 5, we're going to put a plus 5 here. 10x divided by 5. 2. That's going to be 2x plus 5 divided by 5? 1. They match, so I know I did it correctly. But we still have to write our final answer. Because remember, your final answer is 2 parentheses.
3x plus 5 and
Okay. 3x plus 5 and 2x plus 1? 2x plus 1 because they match. 3x plus 5 were the other GCF pieces. That's my final answer. Okay, questions there? Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, the one thing that I didn't do, always check when you start a problem to look for GCFs. Because occasionally there are GCFs that you want to factor out. Okay? So, just don't forget that. Okay, let's try another one, if you will. (3x squared plus 16x plus 5). So notice, first of all, there is an a value, isn't there? So that matters because I'm not going to be able to just jump into 2 parentheses. So I can put x and x. Do they have a GCF in common for all three of these terms? No. So, what do we do? Okay, product of AC thing. I got it. So, product of AC. Thoughts on what A and C are? 3 and 5? And I can label these A, B, C if I want. Say A, B, C. But it's 3 times 5, and 3 times 5 is 15. A sum?
Oh wait, no, there's someone.
Sum of B, which is?
Wait, no, what am I doing?
I don't know.
Confusing myself.
What's my B value here? 16? Okay. So we're going to be looking for numbers that multiply to be 15 and add to be 16. So, I like to list my numbers out. I'm not saying you have to. Product of 15. What is that first pair? 1 in the number. Are you checking? Does 2 work?
No.
2 does not go into 15. 15 is not even. Does 3 work?
Yes, it's fine.
3 and 5. Does 4 work?
No.
No. Does 5 work?
Yeah, it's great. But I already have that.
We've already used 5, haven't we? Okay, so it has to be one of these pairs. Which pair multiplies to 15 and adds to be 16?
15.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Alright, I got something.
You don't have to throw anything. It's not that bad. I mean, come on, it's just math here. Okay, so what do I do with the 1 and 15?
You put them, okay, the 16, you did little arrows and you put 1x plus 15x, and then you put the other things beside them.
Okay, so this 16x is splitting into 1x and 15x. Or if you prefer 15x and 1x. It technically doesn't matter which you put first. It'll work out both ways. So 1x plus 15x. And then, don't forget to bring down your first one. And bring down the last one. So I've got 4 terms there. What do I do with 4 terms? Split it in half right after the second term. What am I looking for? Okay. GCF of the first 2 terms. Okay, in terms of numbers, 3 and 1, well, 1 can only divide by 1. What about letters? X to the first, right? So my GCF is X. That means I'm going to put X out here, out front. And then what remains? So 3x squared divided by X.
3x. I don't know. You just
So the 3 is going to stay 3, right? Because 3 divided by 3 is going to stay 3. If I have x squared and I divide away an x, that leaves me with x to the first. So 3x to the first. 1x divided by 1x. 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 1x divided What happens when you divide something by itself? Not nothing. If you divide something by itself, 1 divided by 1 is 1. I wouldn't say stays the same, because then are you going to tell me 5 divided by 5 is 5?
No, it's just 1.
Yeah, anytime you divide something by itself, it's 1. So we have a plus 1 there. And that 1 is important. Don't just drop it off. No, Michaela, you wanted to drop it off last time, right? Just get rid of it. Nope. Okay. GCF of the second half then. 5. Any x's in common? No. So we're going to divide both of these by a 5. I'm going to write in my work line here a plus 5. What is 15x divided by 5? 3 divided by, dang it, 15 divided by 5 is 3, and the x tags along. Plus 5 divided by 5? 1. I'll be saying him too, the way I'm yawning. Are we successful here?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know how to write that answer, Jacob?
That's the 2 parentheses. And one of them's gonna, oh, it's the x plus 5 and then 3x plus 4.
Yep.
My brain went dead for a second. Like,
So I had to show you the 2 parentheses, but once you saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I know what to do. It's easy. Right to finally answer is an easy part.
getting called on that, forget that. That's another part.
Well, we're down to a class of 2.
I know, I'm just saying, like, in the bigger class.
Yeah, I know. You can't avoid talking to me here. Well, you could, but it'd be really awkward. So, okay. Let's do at least one more. We could stop and give you guys work time if after we get one more done if you want. So, doesn't matter to me which one. So, we'll just go to the next one. Why are you saying oh no?
It's one of those ones where they all look the same thing. They all.
Okay. Are you understanding what she's saying here?
No.
They all have
That's what I'm saying. They all have
8, 36, and 20. Can all divide by a common number. Yes? They all have a GCF. So, what do 8, 36, and 20 all divide by?
It's 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm. It is 4. I agree. So that is, we were asking about a GCF there. So if we're going to divide all of these by 4, now that means the 4 is going to go at the very beginning, right? Then divide each of them by 4 and write out what you still have.
2x.
4x to the second.
Mm.
Oh, wait, no. 2x.
I say I like Jacob's better on that one. Jacob's like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was like,
8 divided by 4 is 2. And then the x squared is still there. Then what?
Wait, no, not. It's just 5.
Okay. Are we good with that? You have to be writing these steps down, right? So now, this 4 out front,
Oh, yeah.
don't lose it. Okay? Don't lose it. You just carry it down. It's going to be in my final answer. Notice this is 2x squared, right? If it was x squared, I'd go ahead and do 2 parentheses. Since it's 2x squared, we're going to have to do product of A and C. Now, When I say product of A and C, you're using these new ABCs. Does that make sense? So we're going to use the ABCs that we found after we divided by 4. So what kind of product do I want?
2 and 5 versus 10.
Except specifically it is a, what kind of 5?
Oh, 5x.
No.
Negative
Negative 5? And 2 times negative 5 means
negative 10.
negative 10. So we're going to be looking for a product of negative 10 and a sum of negative 9. Okay. Product of 10 is where I start. What multiplies to be 10? 1 and 10, 2 and 5, and we're done, right? Okay. What about signs? Okay. One of these has to be negative because they multiply. Oh wait, I guess we didn't pick our pair of numbers yet, did we? But
Pick 2 and 5.
It's 1 and 10.
1 and 10 or 2 and 5? Here's the deal. Which could add or subtract to give me 9?
Well, if you have 10 and 3, subtract
That would be 9.
Right. 2 and 5 either add to be 7 or subtract to be 3. So I can't use 2 and 5. 1 and 10 could subtract to be 9. So I could do this. If it multiplies, we already said 1 has to be negative. How do you add to be negative 9? Here. 10 is larger and negative. So negative 10 plus 1. Okay. What do I do with that negative 10 and 1?
You put it, replace that in the next. It's going to be 1x plus negative 10x.
Okay. So you're replacing the negative 9x with 1 and negative 10. I think Mikhaili said plus 1x minus 10x, which is fine. You can flip order if you want. And then don't forget (2x squared) and minus 5. Okay, there's 4 out front. Drop it down. I'm actually going to use brackets on this one. I already heard Mikhaili say split it in half. GCF of the first half.
1x.
Okay, 2 and 1, it's got to be a 1 because there's no number in common. How many x's do they have in common? X to the first. So I'm going to put this x out front. What's 2x to the second divided by x?
1x.
Well, what about the 2 here?
Oh, yeah, 2.
I'm not sure I said that. I might have said the wrong thing, but yeah, 2x squared divided by x to the first. 2 divided by invisible 1 is going to be 2. But then I agree, x to the second divided by x to the first is going to become x to the first plus 1x divided by x. The x's will cancel because they're the same power, so just 1. GCF of the second half. What's negative 10x minus 5? Both divided by. And because this first one is negative,
Negative.
we're going to say negative 5. So when I write it down this next line, after these parentheses, I'm going to write negative 5. Negative 10x divided by negative 5. A negative divided by negative makes it a positive 2x. Negative 5 divided by negative 5. Positive 1. In parentheses in the bracket. What do you think? Did we do good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, final answer.
4 minus 5.
Okay. So 2x plus 1 was the matching parenthesis. X minus 5 were the GCFs we divided by in the previous step. And what about this 4? Go out front. Okay. So don't try and put in with the X. It has to stay out front and be separate. Huh? Okay. You guys want to try it on your own for a moment? See how you do? Well, I was going to let you try homework. I don't remember. Go ahead and try this. If we need to do an example tomorrow, we'll come back and try this other one. You've got about 10 minutes here. You could work.
Always give me new stuff. It's gotta give me